Privit, so many people have reached out to me in the last few days since Russia invaded Ukraine, had their full invasion. We're now on day 6 of the invasion, and they wanted to know, Connor, how can I contribute to the defense of Ukraine in the quickest and most effective way? And it definitely by avoid scammers, right? Scamming used to be a big theme in my channel in a different context, but unfortunately there are a lot of, dishonest people online are going to try and take advantage of the good nature and goodwill of people who want to support Ukraine and its territorial defense and, in fact, its defense of European Western values. Because this war is not just an attack on Ukraine, it's an attack on, for sure, the whole of Europe and democracy and the European way of life. And it's really, really important that Russia is stopped here, because it's not going to stop here. It's going to be coming to other countries after Ukraine, almost certainly, if President Putin of Russia is successful. So I'm going to do a quick interview with an entrepreneur who's come up with a really clever way to, number one, make sure you don't get scammed if you're contributing money, and number two, actually to avoid having to pay commissions to intermediaries. So let's go and see how you can contribute to the defense of Ukraine. Привет, welcome. And today I have a guest, Dmitry Podolyev, who is a Ukrainian IT entrepreneur who has been working on some really exciting tech advancements to facilitate the global response to supporting Ukraine's fight for democracy and freedom. Obviously, we're in a very tragic and difficult situation. And we're recording this interview on day 6 of Ukraine's invasion, full invasion of Ukraine. So, Dmitry, maybe outline a little bit about how you've gone about solving problems people were encountering, especially from abroad, when they want to support Ukraine in this very, very difficult time.
Sure. Well, Connor, first of all, thanks for having me and taking the time. It's a pleasure. So I'm a tech entrepreneur, as you said. And since the start of the war, basically everybody mobilized, and the goal was how can each and every individual, not just in Ukraine but across the world, contribute to Ukraine's fight, as you rightfully said, for freedom and democracy, and not just in Ukraine but in the whole of Europe, because this is definitely going to outreach far beyond the borders of Ukraine. And naturally, I've been blessed with so many friends and colleagues all across the world, and I decided to rally and try to raise some funds to support the Ukrainian government in this struggle in defending our freedoms and democracy. And what I've realized within hours is that the current the national government and the National Bank of Ukraine has set up a special fund where anyone in the world can actually donate. But at the time, the only way to donate was to set up a cross-border SWIFT payment. Now, that's not so easy unless you're an entrepreneur. Number one, it takes a while to log into your bank account, provide a long IBAN number and a SWIFT number. And SWIFT payments are in general fairly expensive, especially if the sums aren't very high. So they can go up to $20 or $30 a euro. And if you're only able to commit $100, that's a 30% cost. That's significant. And the vast majority of people can't really contribute large amounts. So that was a huge problem. There were two problems: huge commission, and number two, maybe a few out of 10 or more people were able to do SWIFT payments, or would go through all the hassle to transfer such a small amount. So as a tech entrepreneur, I clearly saw a problem that needs to be fixed, and we've very quickly mobilized with, first of all, the National Bank of Ukraine, with the largest commercial bank, Privat Bank, which is also government owned, in order to fix this problem. There was a clear solution. We needed to set up an easy card payment system that would allow anyone with a card to pay online, also with Google Pay or Apple Pay, the usual way that everybody shops online. And we managed to set it up also with zero commissions. So the bank is not taking any commissions. And what's even more important, that all the funds don't go through any intermediaries. So all the funds go directly from any donor across the world directly to the official account at the National Bank of Ukraine, that later goes to support our defense of the way we live, of freedom and democracy, and fundamentally help bring peace to Europe as fast as possible.
Sounds great. And how did you go about in terms of a process? Like, you realize that there's this big issue, which is basically that there's a high commission relatively high commission for anyone who wants to make a small donation, which in reality is going to be most citizens in other parts of Europe or North America or the world or Russia, wherever it happens to be, where people are trying to donate from. So how did you go about brainstorming exactly how you're going to solve this problem and come up with your solution?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just going to go a step back. So our mission, it was just me and a couple of my colleagues and friends. Our mission was that words are no longer useful. They're actually, unfortunately, useless once you're at war. You need action. And there are only three types of action anyone across the world can do. The first one is the hardest: take up arms and go fight in the war. You know, very few of us have arms, or not to mention the training. Number two, go out on the streets and demonstrate and try to pressure your local governments, your local leaders to take more drastic action in order to support Ukraine. That has been going on, but that's also not so simple because you need to consolidate, you need to organize, not always accessible to all, especially COVID times. And number three, and the third one is available to each and every person, is just donate. Yeah. And the beautiful thing about donations, it doesn't matter how much you donate, whether it's $100 or $100,000. Both are actions, both are real concrete actions that do bring about positive change. So that's the mission we've set out. This is something that we wanted to focus. And once we started doing, we saw there was a problem. And as an IT entrepreneur, when we see a problem, we start solving it. So I started calling up my friends, different banks, consulting how this can be done. We reached out to the National Bank, and they were extremely responsive, despite the fact that they haven't been sleeping. I don't think they're still not sleeping. Yeah. I think that the wonderful thing, it's not so much about the innovation, because there is no new fundamental technological innovation. We're still using the good old same tools, bank accounts and card payment systems. This is absolutely nothing new. What's new is how at wartime so many people managed to consolidate so quickly and in less than 24 hours to establish such a system. And remember, the recipient is a government bank. It's a government institution, not one of the fastest ones. So in my opinion, I mean, the true heroes are all the people that have been involved, and there have been involved dozens of people. I think I slept probably twice. I had 2 power naps, 15 minutes each. I'm sure all of the rest of the people had that or less. And how they managed to get something so complex at such complex times done so fast is incredible. I mean, this is the true thing. When you talk about tech and startups, a lot of people rightfully think that tech startup teams are super efficient, because if they're not, well, the big guys with more money, more opportunities, more access can get things done, obviously. So the efficiency of startup and tech teams, especially at the early stages, is incredible. The efficiency of this team was way more incredible and much faster. And bear in mind, these are not startup entrepreneurs. These are people from different sorts of life. Some of them are governments, some of them are big commercial banks, and the other just volunteers from all passes of life and all experiences. I don't know most of them. I haven't met them most personally, so we connected online and then we just started working. And I think this demonstrates the power of unity and the power of people, and not people just in Ukraine. I mean, we have today hundreds and hundreds of people who have put their lives on hold, who have absolutely cleared their schedules and putting in 120% of their time, of their energy, in order to spread the word, in order to encourage more of their contacts, friends, to donate and spread the word further. Because this is something very, very simple. But the beauty of everything is that very simple actions, very small donations, when en masse, can and will make a huge and fundamental difference, and will actually save lives.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen that in different fundraising. Normally, what I've been looking at is in terms of politics, how small donations from a large amount of people can override, in domestic policies, maybe a big donor coming in and obviously parachuting all that money in for influence. So here we have another example where, just sourcing just people from all over the world who want to help Ukraine in this very, very difficult and tragic time. And it's very admirable to see Ukrainians. I made a video yesterday talking about the unity of Ukrainians and how it's been accelerated and ironically facilitated by Vladimir Putin and his behavior, especially in the last week or so. How would you quantify maybe the difference, the impact that this solution has made, just in terms of concrete monetary terms? Like how much of a difference has it already made? We're on day 6, and it seems like you put most of this together in the first day or two. I started seeing links to it. I think already 2 days ago, at least, that came on my radar. How would you quantify the impact so far?
Yeah, so we put it up within 24 hours, actually, a little bit less, maybe like 22 and a half or 23 hours, but definitely within the 24-hour period. So the exact figures are super hard to connect because you would have to have like 5 days of one way and 5 days of the other, but based on the feedback of people that I've reached out to. So how it started initially, we started reaching out to a lot of people. And funny enough, 1 out of 10 was actually successful making payment. And usually those are the big ones when they donate tens of thousands. And then it makes sense to put in the effort and to make a Swift payment. And then the $30 or $40 fee isn't such a big part of it. But 9 out of 10 were contributing definitely less. And they reached out with requests is like, there were many requests. What is a Swift payment? And where can I put in my card because it's so hard? Or can you do it through Google Pay or Apple Pay? So what we saw as entrepreneurs is that there was a significant friction of how to actually do it. And if a person wants to commit some money, it's an emotional feeling. It lasts for 30 seconds. If the payment process takes even 5 minutes, that's too long. It has to be 30 seconds. So that was the main mission. So in terms of conversion rates, I can only venture a guess, but based on the people I've personally and my team personally talked to, it's at least X10. It could be even more in terms of how much money. If you can imagine, it's like you have a pot with lots of holes in it. So something stays, the vast majority goes through. So maybe 10 times more, maybe more. But the fact of the matter is, it's definitely a significant impact. And once we've established it, I see so many people thinking, yeah, great, it's so easy. It took us 30 seconds to do it. Everything is working fine. So that was very positive feedback and very great that the system works and so many more people can contribute. And I want to underline, it's not about the amount of money so much, it's about the action. Every single cent counts. So
exactly. And if you're going to have to, you're just going to dissuade the large number of people who want to make a small donation, because most people are not going to be in a position to parachute in, $5 million to the Ukrainian government, or $50,000 or $10,000 where a $30 fee isn't really anything that they're going to blink at.
Sure.
Of course, most people are probably, thinking of donating something. I would think between like, definitely probably less than $100 for most people is probably what they're planning to contribute. And if you have a $30 fee, then that hits the, that's a large amount of that money going to a large number of transactions.
I'll give you an interesting other example. So we have great colleagues and friends supporting us out from Iceland, and a local successful entrepreneur and billionaire, David Helgeson, set up a system. And he said, basically, I'm ready to contribute up to $500,000 to match whatever anyone donates. Wow. And he even said, like, don't send me receipts, I trust you. So that's a wonderful way when you're in a position to donate more than a couple of $100. In this case, I think he donated 770,000 because he couldn't stop it soon enough. But in essence, it wasn't just $500,000, it was $1 million, or likely $1.5 million. So that was another wonderful example of how people in a more stronger financial position can contribute large amounts, but can also stimulate thousands of people to contribute less, based on their current financial opportunities.
Excellent. Where can people find I'm going to put a link down below, but where should they go?
Everything is on my Facebook. Yeah, everything is on my Facebook. So if you watch my Facebook profile, so all the updates come there, and myself and my team have thanked David, and I've also shared his post there, so you'll find all the details there, and also you can check the exact amount in the comments, but it's definitely more than $500,000. So wow, that was an example. That was an incredible example. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much for your work, Dimitri. I'm also going to put all the links to everything we mentioned. I'll try to put them on screen, but in any case, they'll be down below in the description to the video. Yeah, it's a very tragic and difficult time, not just for Ukraine, but definitely for all of Europe. I think I also think it's tragic for Russia that it's in this position at the end of the day, because of its leaders. And anything that we can do, or anything that anyone watching can do that can contribute to hopefully restoring peace and Ukraine's security and European security on a wider level is definitely something that I welcome, and hopefully this nightmare ends positively as soon as possible. So thanks for your work, and yeah, everybody who's interested can go and contribute, and definitely not worry about a crazy $30 fee if they want to make even a small contribution. Everything will make an impact at the end of the day. So Duja Jaku, do
Thank you,
побачення,
Connor.
and good luck with
Thank you.
everything there in Ukraine.
Thank you so much, Connor. Thank you.